Welcome to GOLT Talk, your podcast for technology and innovation in the legal profession. If you're searching for solutions to revolutionize your legal practice, you're in the right place. 10 minutes pure, actionable product insights from CEOs shaping the future of legal technology. And here is your host, Tom Pfennig.
Welcome everybody to GOLT Talk, your go-to podcast for technology and innovation in the legal profession. Here we bring you 6 questions and 6 answers in under 10 minutes, pure actionable insights from CEOs shaping the future of legal tech. Today I welcome Victor Lemmens and Lee Grant from Wrangu. Victor is CEO and Lee is the co-founder and chief sales officer of the company. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you, Tom.
So with that, we dive right in, just a brief intro of you and the company, and then we talk about unique selling points and use cases of the Wrangu technology. Please take it over.
Thank you. Shall I do a short introduction, Lee, from Wrangu and myself? Indeed, Victor Lemmens, Chief Executive Officer of Wrangu, in the business for 25 years, in the risk and resilience business for 15 years right now. Wrangu itself is a deep specialist in risk and resilience and one of the large partners for this particular purpose of ServiceNow in Europe.
Very good. Lee, you founded Wrangu how many years ago?
It was 9.5 years ago now.
So you've been in the market for a little bit, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about the unique selling points, the use cases that you serve with the Wrangu technology.
I think our key USP is the deep knowledge that we've got as a company in the space that we operate in. We have various different use cases. We cover security side and risk side. Compliance is a core part of that. That's a default go-to starting point for many of our customers. Again, we've now worked with 30 plus consultants just delivering ServiceNow risk and security modules. I like to say when I'm talking to customers that, they provide the tools, but we solve the problems. We use the ServiceNow tools in order to solve the client issues.
What are the problems that you're solving concretely?
It's very big. So you've got everything from I want to be ISO 27001 compliant, and I want to be able to show it real time with efficiency using cross-organizational platforms. That would be a kind of entry level for us. A full fat would be including implementing risk frameworks, risk scoring, flowing that down through compliance, even into the security side. So being able to influence through security events and activities, changing your risk posture accordingly, being able to react to those events. So if you're going full maturity, you're really looking at risk and security across the organization and all components of that.
When we talk about compliance, it's such a broad field. Can you pick 1 or 2 use cases specifically out of that region?
Compliance is very broad indeed. The one thing that we nearly always do is basic certification regulation type work. So, the NIST standards, the ISO standards, the SOX, there's many of them as I'm sure you're aware. That's the default from a compliance perspective for us. And as I say, you can go very wide on that. So, you can get into the privacy area, which has deep structure around it. You can go in the security area, again, all around the compliance of activities as they relate to the security of the organization in that case.
If some of the viewers have never heard of Wrangu, what category would you see yourself in?
If I may answer that question, basically, indeed, we are a deep specialist in the ServiceNow ecosystem for this particular purpose. So risk, resilience, compliance, security as such. And obviously serving ServiceNow, we are serving one of the big enterprise platforms in this space. ServiceNow being only 20 years old, effectively, obviously is one of the newer kids on the block, if you will. With all the new technology integrated into the platform, not bolted on. That's allowing customers to go deep on risk, resilience, compliance, and security on the platform itself, which also is a high requirement, given the fact that a lot of companies are going deep into cloud as well, including public sector. That's what we see happening at the moment. And another converging factor in that respect, the larger context companies operate in nowadays. With everything in the cloud, with everything in the internet world that's not necessarily getting more secure every day, there's a high requirement for the services we offer with a high exposure to the board. And that basically is the work we do on a daily basis.
Before we move to allies and competitors, so your typical client, is it more of a mid-sized company or more larger multinationals?
I would say that we serve mid-sized companies with proper complexity or high requirements in the field we work, and also the large multinationals. So if you would look into the list of customers we serve and you would put Fortune 500 next to it, you would see a certain resemblance, let's put it like that.
Good. Okay, let's move on. Thank you. So allies in terms of technical ecosystems or partners that you can share, and also please let us know who is in your particular space and you would consider as a competitor.
In terms of partners, we've got various partners. We tend to partner with people that add a competency, a bit like yourselves, Tom. You're adding something from a consultancy perspective. We then work with you, for example, to deliver for technology solutions to the client. And we've got various partners in different areas, from general consulting to you in legal services, for example. In terms of competitors, there's probably two ways to look at that. One is ServiceNow specific competitors, and there's a couple of organizations that do very well. One in the US, which is pretty much us, I guess, if you like, in the US, which is Templar Shield. You've got Thirdera that's in that space, New Rocket that's in that space. They're good at what they do, but they're fairly small and light on the ground in Europe. We're light on the ground in the US. We do have some US clients, but it's not active for us. And that would probably be the partner competitors. But if you then was going into the sort of ServiceNow competitors, then you're starting to get in the metric streams of this world and the RSA Archer, some equivalent to that, the SAI 360 in some instances. We are hand in hand with ServiceNow selling against those. So I would say that we would see them as competitors as well.
Thank you. Very open and transparent. Much appreciated. Now, finally, costs as well as implementation efforts.
Implementation effort is really difficult because it can be, as I said before, it can be very simple or it can be very wide ranging. We have fast start solutions that start at sort of 50K implementation cost, plus the ServiceNow licenses, which you have to have already in place. Our biggest clients are spending into the millions a year. So you really do have a very different, if you like, level of expenditure that can happen. Obviously, there's ServiceNow licenses that go along with that, so we can't implement unless there's licenses in place. But that's the implementation side of it. And obviously, the licenses is normally a much bigger number than that.
And to add to this one, honestly, we'd like to have the deepest impact possible at customers. It really depends in the conversations we got with the customers where they would like to start. So it can be a quick start to have fast traction and go for the low-hanging fruit. Or another approach, honestly, we do regularly with customers is building large roadmaps and really have a program. So we deeply connect the risk and security activities right back into the steering control processes that, in the end of the day, are running the full company. And that's also what we're very much aware of, that the work we do is not only having the impact, but is also very much related to the strategic process that are run by our customers.
Just before we wrap up, in terms of really a time guesstimate, and we've said you are serving large clients and you're serving some mid-sized clients with a decent level of complexity. What's the range that you're seeing on a typical client in terms of getting your tech to work timing-wise?
If you look into the quick starts we do, it can be a couple of weeks, right up to a multi-year engagement and really helping the customer getting into the next stage, right up to, leading into a full risk and security activity at the customer side. So we've had customers coming back to us and said, okay, you've shown us basically the best practice to run those activities. Can you help us to internalize this one into our organization? So if you will, ensure that we run this proper standard in the organization while you ramp down your activity. So anything in between those kind of extremes, basically, we see happening at customers.
Very good. I think this gives the viewers some good indication. It's not a plug and play because you're dealing with complexity, but it can be done rapidly, yet you should also take the time to make sure that the system is understood and tested. And obviously, you should be realistic. We are talking about weeks and months.
All our customers should realize you're running a risk management activity for a purpose. In the end of the day, that's to be as precise and as accurate as possible in your strategy execution and your performance management. So a risk management activity as such is not a occupational therapy, but is being run for a particular purpose. So in technical terms, this means that your risk activities should be connected to the objectives of the organization. That sounds very simple. In the end of the day, it isn't.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this episode of the GOLT Talk. I had the privilege of talking to Victor Lemmens, CEO of Wrangu, and Lee Grant, co-founder and CSO of Wrangu. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. Wishing you well. Take care. Bye-bye.